Do you have a match? When you light up a match, where does the flame go? When a forest burns and the fire feeds in a frenzy, jump and feast, where does it hide the wood? It doesn't have a stomach. It takes it in, like a marriage. My uncle used to believe it is dangerous to breathe in the last puff of smoke before it falls to ashes. He said the fire lives inside of you, waiting for a way out.
I'll at times entertain myself with what I call my personas, a group of imaginary characters whose qualities I channel. Sam Elliott's western drawl, leathery appearance, and massive mustache. Or Mark Twain's higher-pitched tone, to my mind, with penetrating irony and insightful wit, dressed, of course, like Colonel Sanders. There's a generic little schoolboy under 12 years old that I channel, wearing short pants, sand blonde, medium-length hair. Imagine an untidy British school uniform on a pint-sized scarecrow, shirt tails untucked, dangling freely, dirty scraped knees primed for compulsive scab picking, and wearing incorruptible brown leather clogs on his feet. Some of my personas are merely time and context specific, like when I channeled Neil Young's look at his 1971 BBC concert, singing one of my best forever favorites. Oh man, look at my life, I'm a lot like you were. There's a poster somewhere. Now that I've passed the longevity of 56 years, I wonder if I can take my personas to the next level. Revitalizing my life by ridding myself of its worldly suffering chain to lived experience. In other words, not simply imaginary channeling to play off wonderfully novel literary cliches and self-amusing idiosyncrasies in my storytelling, but literally becoming the persona. Sadly, a 56-year-old British schoolboy would be awkward. But I do have a nice old persona pickling nicely in my background. The premise of my trusted old man character is pretty much what you would imagine in short order. Yet mine, like most of my personas, is multi-dimensional, malleable, and adaptive. You yourself might close your eyes and see the old man's stooped shoulders alone on a park bench, illicitly feeding bread to birds. And no one's evil enough to tell him it's bad for the birds. Not even woke activist bird watchers. In an alternate dimension, he has a flat-top, Korean War military-style haircut, sideburns shaved every Saturday morning by his barber of 25 years. Little things irritate old man flat-top, especially if it's a characteristic he believes all people of a particular subgroup believe. That of a American white Republican. But he's okay with his Italian barber, though. Even gives him a Christmas card every year and a 26er of whatever scotch is on sale in December. I do like the Clint Eastwood Gran Torino flat top haircut, having had brush cuts in elementary school. But I'm not good with conflict at all, because I've never shot a rifle, let alone a 30 caliber, MI-30 caliber 5-round clip semi-automatic U.S. Army rifle used during the middle of the 20th century from World War II to Korea, that Eastwood's Kowalski regularly cleans and puts away with reverence in his Army footlocker with his Purple Heart hidden in the basement at the ready just in case something breaks out. Whichever old man persona I choose to be, I already have disabling health conditions. I know the irritation and constant strain common to elderly people. I'm versed in general moral and ethical principles for accommodating the elderly and the disabled as active and integrated members of our communities. And am aware of politics and supportive legislation and where it lives. Being old man flat top instead of merely playing or imagining old man flat top will certainly consolidate aspects of who I am and who I've been, both imaginary and real. Sort of unifying the whole. I guess I'll be needing old man flat top's cut to replace my venerable 80s, 90s glam metal superfan black concert t-shirt wearing timeless style. Be all that you can be. Oh.
Another match? The first fire I remember was the one my uncle lit. They lined up the streets of one of the suburbs, and like their immigrant grandfathers, the men, one day, on a Saturday, would rake the leaves to the edge of their yards, line the streets, and girdle the edges of their ticky-tack homes, while standing guard of the children as they knelt and lit a pile. The orange flames danced, and the bottled beer raised to their dry lips. After the flames had died down, and the sucking roar has become a spit sizzle of flames licking ashes, we would jump over the hotbeds singing jump rope songs. There was always a child who fell, and with their cry, our mothers would pull us all inside. You need to understand that some houses have bad bones. When my husband and I looked at the house where we would raise children, where we would burn leaves, it seemed to stare back at us. There was a broken curtain rod, and the dislodged curtain looked like an infected eye. The other owners left in haste, which explains why the realtor in the pale blue suit said, Boy, I have a deal for you. I almost thought he would offer us the house for a test drive. If we looked beyond the puppy-stained rugs and the broken bathroom door, we were, after all, the first to see it. Jump on it, man! Jump on it! My husband took the leap. I told him no. It was seized from a family with a puppy. They had tried to pay. They had some crooked mortgage some vampire had sold them. The empty nursery had the cry of a baby, and the sink held a single cup. Honey, I tried to reason. If you found a $100 bill and you knew who it's for, wouldn't you give it back? 2 weeks later, I was vacuuming rugs and finding jigsaw puzzle pieces in closets, with the wind hitting the house full force. The realtor has neglected to tell us about the gale wind alley the house was in. I heard its timbers groan like an animal who discovered food in its stomach. I was pregnant then. My 3rd month of nausea pulling me from bed. That bathroom door was another project of do's and don'ts. It was a Thursday when I pulled on the door and it wrenched free, pinning me with a slam against the wall. The bleeding started and I lost my first. I hated that house. On my husband's birthday, 4 days later, business as usual. I lit a match to light a candle, and I felt the house shrink. The wood pulled back, and I thought, aha! On afternoons, I began to leave work to come home for lunch. I told my husband it was a diet fertility thing. I was having trouble getting pregnant again. I came home to tease the house. Light a candle, light a match in the bathroom, burn the door jambs. Careless with cigarettes, I told my husband. But you don't smoke, he said. Oh, now I'm not pregnant, I do. And I bought a pack to leave lying around. I got to going beneath the eaves, light a match, and watch the wood shrink back. Sometimes it would fight back with a splinter. My husband and I stopped making love. This is what the house did. It made me a prisoner to my desire to hurt it. On our way to his parents, we heard the house sigh in relief. My husband asked, what was that? Must be a bicycle running by, I told him. When he was getting his hair cut, I drove back 2 hours. After stopping by a gas station, I sloshed some gasoline beneath the eaves, lit a match, and ran from the whoosh. The stairs tried to trip me. One of the door jambs twisted in my way. I watched the flames burst from the roof, from my car. No one heard me cheer. I was one of those children who fell when I tried to jump over the smoke, over the coal. My 9-year-old October. Maybe I breathed in one of those last childhood smokes, and the flame is in my gullet, waiting for a place to chase itself silly.
cried for love, but not for you. Poor boy singing. I cried for love, but not for you.